Some of the best guys in the league, and we're going to have to do a great job of slowing them down.
See Ron Parker out there. What are your memories of camp last year in that group of corners you were throwing out with all the different guys that were out there?
Well, Ron Parker's been playing great for them. You can definitely see it on film. He's played corner, he's played safety, he can do it all, and so it'll be exciting to go against him, just because he's a great football player, and he's got a lot of talent, and we had so many guys here. It's tough to make it here, but I thought that he's playing extremely good football right now.
Did you get a sense going against that group in camp last year that there was kind of an unusual amount of talent with them? I mean, kind of all the guys you have now, plus Browner, Thurman, Winfield, all those guys.
Yeah, you think about all the talent we had this past camp, and the times before. We've had so much talent at the cornerback position, and then obviously we've had some guys go to different teams and be very, very successful. And when you look at Ron Parker, that's what he's doing for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Forecast is for pretty cold temperatures. You've played, obviously, in bad weather before. How's it different to playing cold as opposed to rain?
In terms of the cold weather, they got so many heaters on the sideline. You got the gloves, you got the little heat pack in your pocket there, so it'll be all right. I know it'll be cold. The question is how the ground will be, how the grass will be, if the ground will be frozen or not, depending on how cold it is. That's kind of the thing that you have to get prepared for, and make sure that you get your traction, and making sure that you have your balance and everything you do.
Does it affect your ability to grip the ball at all?
Not really. I have such big hands, in terms of gripping the football. It's not usually a problem ever.
Also, for your last 5 games, you've had a passer rating under 80. Missed some throws you typically make over the last couple weeks. How do you kind of evaluate how you've played over this stretch, and where are you lacking at the moment currently?
Well, I think my accuracy's been a little bit off for whatever reason, and just I keep believing in myself. I'm not going to doubt myself. I've played a lot of great football in times, and I just believe every time I get the ball in my hands, I'm going to make something happen. And that's never going to change. My confidence never wavers. And sometimes you go through a downward slump, but as long as you can find ways to win, that's all I care about. It's finding ways to help our football team win. And then once I get back in my groove, which hopefully it'll happen this week, I think it's going to be really hard to stop us, because of how our defense is playing, how Marshawn is running the football. And so there's been a lot of opportunities. That's the good thing. There's been a lot of opportunities that we could have capitalized on, and we haven't. I think some of that's on me, and I look forward to those moments again. Whenever they come back up, I believe that those game-altering plays I'm going to make.
You've talked before about footwork being one of the main culprits. Do you find that still being the case?
I think sometimes. I think some of the times it's been footwork, and sometimes maybe just rushing just a little bit too fast. And I think that one of my strengths is just being poised in certain times, and I think that I just have to always go back to that, being calm as possible, and just being smooth as possible, and making those throws and just hitting it when it's there.
When you have consecutive running plays, whether it's scramble or by design, if the third play is a pass, is it a little harder to compose yourself after the running and the hitting?
No, I don't think so. I don't think about it, at least. I don't think it makes a difference in terms of, obviously, I've had to run the ball a few more times than normal. And in terms of does it affect the passing game, I don't think so. I do think your adrenaline is going a little bit more. And so you have to naturally, and I've done this, ever since I was a young kid. I've been able to scramble and do all that, so I think that I'm used to it. But one thing that you have to kind of figure out and make sure that is just stay calm and stay poised, and I think that's part of it, because your adrenaline's running so high from running around from all those big guys. So, when you get back out there, every play's a new play for me, and that's what I'm looking forward to this week.
The last
So many
two.
reps with guys like Doug and Jermaine. When it comes to working with Kevin and Paul, what kind of things do you do to get them up to speed to make sure that you're seeing the same thing in your communications on the field?
Well, in terms of getting the other guys up to speed, I think they're doing a great job. I think Kevin Norwood and I think Paul Richardson are doing a phenomenal job, just stepping up and making plays for us. I think there's always room for all of us to improve. Me especially. And so I think that, in terms of getting those guys up to speed, me getting up to speed to them, and just figuring everything out, I think it's just communicating and continuing to get extra reps when you can without tiring those guys out, because they're doing special team stuff, or during practice, and then after practice you don't want to wear them down too much, and so there's a happy medium to it. But I also think a lot of it's visualizing and just trusting it too. Just trusting those reps, trusting the preparation, and then come game day, just letting it rip.
Where do you find those extra reps then?
You find it in the film room. You find it just in between drills when you can. Just, hey, can you spot up right here for me? If I miss the throw during a game, I always make sure Coach Carl Smith and we always make sure we go back to it and just replay the down, the situation, and just complete the throw so I can let it go and come back to it. The next time it's in a game, I'll hit it again. And so that's just the way I kind of think, and I think that with those guys, they're doing a phenomenal job, and they're so talented. They got so much ability. So I have no doubt in my mind what we can do, and what we will do.
Last two seasons, your numbers have kind of taken a big uptick in the last month or two of the season. What do you attribute that to, and is it something you expect out of yourself this year?
Well, my goal is to, take off. That's the goal. You just want to keep getting better every week. I feel like I found ways to win, this past couple of weeks. And you got to remember, we've had a lot of guys out and all that, but you still want to keep playing, great football all the time. And so you're going to have your ups and downs, but, the key is finding your way back into that groove and staying in that groove. And that's what I believe is going to happen. We're playing a very good defense. So, we got to play our best football. I have to play my best football, but, I look forward to those challenges.
You're having to count on new guys at tight end and receiver to some extent too. How much more inherently difficult is it trying to build up rapport with those guys in season when you're trying to game plan, as opposed to, say, a training camp where you got time to work on stuff?
Well, in terms of building rapport with the new guys, they love getting extra work. They love doing whatever they can. But also, those game reps are a little bit different. And so the more that you can get those game reps in, like the young receivers we've had in there, think about, Cooper Helfett, you got Tony Moyaki, he's playing, and getting ready for the game. And so those guys are so talented. So you just have to get as much as you can during the week, and just trust come game day, it's no different. They're ready to go. They're very, very, very good catchers. They can do it all. They run great routes, and so it should look the same.
Others have been asked this week, Russ, about the final 7 games of the season as a whole, as a bunch, as a group. I know you don't even look at them that way, but is there ever any thought about how much of a challenge these last 7 will be?
Well, it's always been a challenge for us ever since I've gotten here. I know that, our schedule's always been tough. Playing in this division, NFC West, it's not easy. Then you have to play some AFC teams that are very, very talented, and so we're going against the Kansas City Chiefs, a playoff-type team that's a very good football team, coached extremely well. They have a great quarterback in Alex Smith, and they have a great defense, and they have some star players on the offensive side of the ball. So, you look forward to those moments. You look forward to going on the road to Arrowhead. We know it's going to be loud. We know their fans are going to be intense, and those are championship moments that you live for. This is all the times when you're a little kid you work for. There's all the times where you're in the weight room in the off season and throwing with the guys and traveling around and trying to throw with the guys as much as you can in different locations and just find a way. And so that's what develops championship teams. It's finding a way to win, finding a way to come back, finding a way to when you're ahead, staying ahead, and all those things, and just finding a way to continue to believe. Like I've always said to you guys, why not us? We have a great football team. We have a team that believes in each other. We have a team that believes in our coaching staff. We have the best fans in the National Football League. And so our goal is to show that every week. And, there's ups and downs throughout the season. And you look forward to those ups and downs because that develops the character of your team. That develops a championship season. That's the journey. And you have to respect the process and enjoy the journey.
2 years ago, starting Kansas City in the preseason was pretty pivotal for you to win the starting job. What do you remember about that game? Does that thought cross your mind at all going back then this week? And what do you take away from that start?
I always try to visualize success. And one of the things I thought about this morning was I was thinking about, man, I'm going to Arrowhead. And I was like, oh, yeah, I've played there before. So a little different situation, a preseason game. But, those are things that you try to remember. You try to remember what the stadium looked like. You try to remember how you got ready, what was the process of it. That was my third, that was the third preseason game. That was the game I started in, and it turned out really well for us, really good for us. And so, I think that you try to rely on those things. And I also try to rely on the preparation throughout the week more than anything else. I try to rely on the teammates that I have and the coaching staff and just trust that we're going to find a way. We know it's going to be a battle. We know it's going to go down to the wire, and we expect that. And we expect to find a way to win, and that's what it takes.
In your position, what's the biggest difference between going against a 4-3 and a 3-4?
Well, when you go against a 3-4 defense, we see a lot of 3-4 defenses because of the NFC West. They play a lot of 3-4 defenses, and you have those big guys on the edge. They're called linebackers, but they don't look like linebackers. And so that's kind of the difference. You have those big guys on the edge, and they usually bring in a 5-man rush pretty much every play, and so you have to do a great job of blocking them up and getting protected, which we will hopefully, and play a great football game.
When you look back at that preseason game in Kansas City, even though it was preseason game, it didn't really matter standings-wise, did it feel pretty big to you knowing what was potentially at stake?
I never look forward to the future. I just try to be in the moment. That's how I've always kind of been. I look forward to playing this game this week and all that, just because it's the game this week. But I just try to live in the moment. And during that time period when I was a rookie getting ready for that first game, I just told myself I've been here before. I've played a lot of games before. I've started in a lot of college football games. I've had a lot of great opportunities before and played in a lot of big crowds before. And I always want to rise to the occasion, and elevate my game and elevate my teammates. And so that's just one of my focus points. It's just, I'm ready, I'm prepared, and you get ready for those moments and you go.
What do you think the coldest game you've played in is?
Probably somewhere in Wisconsin. Practice in Wisconsin. We always practice outside. I played in some cold games in the ACC. I don't know, 15 degrees, something like that. I don't think I've ever practiced below, besides when I was a little kid playing in the backyard. But other than that, I haven't really practiced anything below freezing, or below zero, I should say.
You mentioned the footing. Have you ever had to wear flat shoes, not spikes, because of the ground?
I've never had to wear non-spikes, but you know, because usually those cold places that I play, I have turf. So it's a little bit different. The ground may be heated or whatever the situation is. But I'm getting ready for that just in case, you know, if you have to wear non-spikes, just in case the ground is frozen because your cleats won't go on the ground. So that's what I'll be practicing in probably today, most likely, just to kind of get a feel for what it's going to feel like and get a feel for my balance and moving around.
Does anybody like playing in that cold of weather? Like, do you
Does
like
anybody
it?
like playing in that type of weather? You know, I just enjoy playing the game. When the lights come on, you know, you get ready to go. You know, do I wish you're playing in 65-degree weather? Probably so. But, you know, you look forward to the moments just to get out there. That's what playoff football is about. That's what championship football is about. You know, that bad weather situation and it's a grind. You know, you have to find a way. That's the mentality that you have to have. And so I'm looking forward to it.
When you're reviewing film of a 350-yard rushing performance, can you enjoy it, or are you too busy going, well, if we've done that on this play, there's 10 more yards?
You know, when you have a rushing performance like we had last week, you love those moments. That's history. You know, that's real stuff. You know, that you never want to forget, that you can always rely on. You know, that the fact that Marshawn's run the ball as good as he is. You know, he's having an MVP type year, MVP type performance, and that's what you want out of your guy. And then you think about all the other guys having to step up, and Robert Turbin and Chris and Michael. They're playing great football too. And so when you watch the film, you get excited to see that kind of stuff because, you know, I believe that, you know, when you have one part of your offense doing really good and the second part comes on, and in terms of the passing game, we want to be very balanced. And so, like I said earlier at the beginning of this interview, you know, I think that I believe that, you know, we're gonna click and we're gonna make plays and whatever it takes. You know, whatever it takes to win. I don't care what the situation is. We have to run for 450 or throw for 450. As long as we score one more point, that's all that matters to me.
Anything else?
Thank you guys. Go Hawks.